everybody and welcome. It is currently mid-July, which means that my birthday is right around the corner. And I thought it would be interesting to include you in this creative week because I have taken the week off of work. It is currently Tuesday, July 15th, and my birthday is Friday, July 18th. And I have lots of creative plans that I'd like to get to. So this will be more of a laid back sort of summer creative vlog. And I thought it would be interesting to show you the creative projects that I'm working on and a little bit of my daily life as well, because I'm planning on doing a little bit of baking, and then I'd like to get into Paris to check out a few things, including a museum exhibition and a new button shop that is devoted entirely to buttons, if they're open and if I can find it. And so I hope you enjoy. And first I'm going to change because I have just finished filming another video, which was the Sew Over Ruby Skirt 2 ways. And so I am all dressed up. I'm going to get in something a little bit more casual for this casual vlog and just hanging around the house today, and then get working on some peach iced tea, because actually it's going to be nectarine iced tea because I have a few overripe nectarines and I want to try making it. It is currently about noon now, and that means it'll be ready for a mid-afternoon sort of snack, and I'm going to get right to that. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm ready to make the nectarine iced tea. I have 3 nectarines here. One is definitely turning into syrup all by itself to make the syrup. I have some honey to put in it. I'm going to be using honey instead of sugar, and 1/3 cup instead of 1/2 cup because honey is sweeter than sugar and I don't want it to be too sweet. And then you can add some lemon juice, but I think I have some leftover limes from other things, and I think that'll add a little bit of acidity. And then I have this Westminster black tea. I don't drink a lot of tea, but this is English breakfast tea. And yeah, so we got 4 of those. I've got some water to boil for the tea, and I'm gonna get started. So it is done. It is still kind of warm, so I'm going to put it to the side and let it cool off before I have it this afternoon. And I have a whole bunch of dishes to do, so I'm going to clean that up, but then I have a sewing project that I'd like to work on today, and I will see you in a minute. So the iced tea is cooling now, and I'm going to work on a sewing project because I am going to be going to the Alps for summer vacation in August, and I am really excited. And it's going to be on the French side of the Alps, and there's a lake that we're going to be able to go to and go swimming in every day if we want to. And so I do have bathing suits that I've made myself already, and I've made especially only one pattern. So I tried a second one last year and it didn't really work out. It was asymmetrical, and the non-strap side just kept falling down. I still need to fix that. But the other 3 swimsuits that I wear all the time, it's the Closet Core Patterns Sophie swimsuit, and I absolutely love it. It's a bikini, and I love it. So I've been trying to test out one pieces for a while now, and I'd like to try another one, and it's the Closet Crew Pattern Bianca swimsuit. It just looks really, really cool. I like the strappy detail. I like that it's got a V-neck and gathering around the bust for shaping, and then I like that it's more full coverage around the bum, and then in the back, at least for the View B version that I'm going to be making, a really beautiful crisscross shape, and I think, and sort of a lower back, not too low, but it looks structurally sound and interesting. And so I'd like to try making that. I was hesitating about whether or not to lengthen it because my torso is about 1 inch longer than the average torso for a 5'5" person, because I'm 5'5". But I think this pattern, this pattern is drafted for a 5'6" or a 5'7" inch person. I think it's 5'6". I forgot to check. But I'm thinking that the torso is already a little bit longer because it's drafted for a taller person than me, or slightly taller. And so I ended up tracing the pattern without modifying the length, and hopefully it'll be long enough and not cause wedgies, which is exactly why I don't wear a lot of one-piece bathing suits. And so I will be making it in this fabric. This is a recycled polyester fabric that I found at Pretty Mercery. It's got a really dark navy blue background rather than black, and I really love this geometric motif. It looks kind of like wings or petals, sort of scattered, and I think that it's just kind of a classic geometric motif, and I think it'll look really nice in a full-length bathing suit. And the dark blue rather than black makes it a little bit less harsh of a contrast, and I think I can pull it off. And I'll be making it with this fabric for the lining. It's a really slinky, also 4-way stretched lycra fabric for swimsuits, and much softer and slinkier, so not one that I would want to use as the outer fashion fabric, but great for lining, and it's going to be super, super soft against the skin. So I'm going to cut those two out, and so bathing suits are not my favorite things to make. I've been putting this off for a while, but I know that I really want to do this for vacation and have it with me as an option to wear, but I need to psych myself up a little bit because bathing suits are they're difficult, but I can do it. So the bathing suit is all cut out. I've got my main fabric and lining here. It is now about 5 p.m. and I was going to go outside with my iced tea and relax a little bit with a book, but it is now very windy, very windy and overcast, so I think it will be cold. So I actually have a lot of editing to do for that video I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I just finished filming this morning. And I have about an hour and a half of footage that I need to cut down to 30 minutes. So I think that that's what I'm going to do this evening. I'll leave you here for today. I'm going to have some of my iced tea and then edit for the rest of the day. But I will see you again tomorrow. Hello everybody, it is the next morning now, and it is a gray, blustery, rainy day, kind of wet, kind of chilly, but perfect for baking without heating up the house. And my main goal today is making cupcakes for my birthday, and I've picked out a recipe from sallysbakingaddiction.com. I'll link it below if you'd like to check it out, but it is pistachio cupcakes because I love pistachios. Oh, so good. And so I'm going to make those. Especially, I didn't want to make cake or pie or anything big. I wanted to make something small with individual sizes because my husband doesn't really like those sorts of baked goods. And I know that I'm probably going to be the only person eating them. And so I wanted something that could be easy to freeze and eat for the rest of my birthday month. And I also don't eat a lot of sweets, so I like when it's in a smaller quantity. And I don't feel pressured to eat more of it than I want to before it goes bad. Anyway, so the recipe plans for a strawberry buttercream frosting, I think, or raspberry. I think it's strawberry. But instead of that, I'm going to make a plain buttercream frosting because I just like it better, and I have no idea where to find dehydrated strawberries here in France without ordering online and waiting a week. So I was going to get to that right away, but my husband did the groceries the other day, and I definitely put on the list 130 grams of pistachios, and he brought back 100. So that's not enough, especially because I want some extra to toast some extra pistachios and put it on top of the buttercream frosting. So I need to go on a walk today to go find more pistachios. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, because I didn't leave the house yesterday, so I really should go for a walk. The closest grocery store with pistachios is about a 20-minute walk away. And I don't have my permit, or I don't have my driver's license here in France. I do in the US, but I missed the window of time to transfer it to a French one. And anyway, if I wanted one, I'd have to start all over, and I just can't be bothered. Also, I really like being able to do everything by foot, which I typically can here in France. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do now because it's supposed to rain all afternoon, so I want to get out before it starts raining again. It's about 10:30 in the morning now. So yeah, come along for a walk with me. Okay, so I am back from my walk to the grocery store, and I got everything that I needed. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a smaller size of whole milk, but that's okay. And then I've got the pistachios I needed. So it went pretty well, except for being ogled and catcalled by some random old man on the sidewalk, which was unpleasant. Ew. And I didn't get rained on, so hooray. But I am almost ready now. I have all of the ingredients that need to be room temperature out to warm up. They're not quite room temperature yet, so I'm going to leave them out for a little bit longer and have some lunch and then get baking. Okay, so I have had my lunch, had some coffee, and then I also measured out all of the ingredients I'll need for this recipe because that usually takes some time and concentration, and I saved you the boredom of watching me do that. And so everything is ready to go. I have my stand mixer here. This was another birthday present and pistachio themed as well from years past. And yeah, I'm all ready. Oh, I wanted to mention, I said earlier that I'm making a buttercream frosting, but in fact I'm making a cream cheese frosting to be a little bit less rich. And also I love cream cheese frosting. And so yeah, I'm excited to make these and eat them. And this is actually another instance where I'm making a recipe for the very first time in a video. So hopefully it turns out well. And that reminds me of the iced tea that I made yesterday, the nectarine iced tea. It turns out, so as I was sipping it, I thought this is kind of strange, and I didn't film this part because I had stopped filming for the day, but it turns out the nectarine and the tea tastes are not very strong, and so it just kind of tastes like watered down honey, which is not what I was going for. So that turned out to be not very good, to be honest with you. So hopefully this does, and let me get baking. So while I wait for the cupcakes to cool off, and the kitchen as well, before I put the icing on and try one, I have a sewing project that I'd like to get to because I need to finish it soon, and it is this True by Zoe tank that I've been working on. I need to finish it soon because this is a project that I'm doing with Minerva, which is a fabric store in the UK, and they gifted this fabric to me for free in exchange for an article on their website, and that article is due soon. And I've just about finished. I think it's going to be a very satisfying, quick finish to do today. I just need to finish sewing around the straps and the armholes and then do the hem. And I haven't, so if you've noticed, this isn't sewed yet, this edge. It's just stuck together, and I've been using this, I forget what it's called, but it's great for working with jersey because it's got paper on one side and then glue on the other, and you iron it on a little bit like fusible interfacing, and then you peel off the paper, and then there's another sticky side, and you can glue sort of two pieces of fabric together. It's kind of like Wonder Tape but bigger, and I bought a big roll of it. This is my first time working with it, and it's great for jersey fabrics because it stabilizes the fabric to keep it from going wavy. So far it's worked really well for me. So I just need to finish here, the hem, and this project will be done. And then I'll be icing and tasting a cupcake. Okay, so as you saw, I tried it on, and at first I thought, ooh, this is extremely booby. And then I saw that my bra was showing in the back too, so it was dipping too low in the back as well. And this is something that I forgot to take into account when I was looking at the pattern. So True Bi's patterns are typically a bit bigger. The smallest size is just a tad bit bigger than my size, at least from the waist up. And sometimes when it's really important for fit, I'll manually size their patterns down. But I thought with the negative ease incorporated, I thought that it would fit around my bust and waist, which is true. But then I forgot to incorporate or think about the straps. So the straps are way too long. I measured they're about 4 centimeters too long. And if I just take them in, then it'll sit much better. But it's going to be, well, it's just not possible to unpick the stitch that I used. It is a zigzag stitch, a zigzag stretch stitch, and it is also known as the stitch of death on the Love to Sew podcast because it is just impossible to unpick without ruining your fabric at the same time. So I'm not going to be able to unpick this. And so instead I'm going to just sort of pleat it here. I'll make sure that the pleat goes towards the back and just sew it down the two edges of the pleat. Unfortunately, this is something that I have to do often, or that I've had to do in the past, because I have sort of a hollow chest up top here around the clavicle, and that means that straps are often too big on me, and it's hard, especially with a jersey fabric or a stretch pattern in fabric. Usually I can just measure with the pattern piece to see if it'll fit me, but because there's negative ease incorporated into the pattern, it's impossible to know exactly how much your fabric will stretch with the pattern because each fabric behaves a little bit differently, and to know in advance with the negative ease how it's going to fit. So I'm a little disappointed, but it's not going to be a perfect finish, and that's okay. And so I'll just sew that down now, and then as a reward, a cupcake. Good morning. It is the next day now, and today I'd like to go into the city, into Paris. If I haven't mentioned it before, I live in the suburbs of Paris, and there is first a museum I'd like to go to. It is the Musée de Montmartre, which is the museum in the neighborhood of Montmartre. And they have currently a temporary exhibition going on about a neo-impressionist called Maximilien Loos, and I've never heard of him before, but from what I've seen in their advertising for this exhibition, it looks really, really beautiful, and I really love Impressionist paintings. I love the colors and the slightly abstract sense of it, and often bucolic representations, and so I have purchased a ticket and I will be going there first. It is about 10:30 in the morning, and I'm a little bit worried about getting in and out of the city because there are major works going on the line that I live on, and so getting in and out is going to be complicated, but I think it's worth it. I think that if I go and come back before rush hours, then I'll be okay. And then after, I need to get lunch, and then I want to go check out a new button shop that just opened a few months ago, I think, and it's called Dame Bouton, and it's in Montmartre as well, and it is just buttons, and it looks really cool, and I'm looking for buttons for this cotton voile fabric that I'd like to work on soon. It is just so light and lovely, and you can see it's kind of purpley and green, and I'm thinking of either small pearlescent buttons, like nacré, I can't remember the name of it, mother of pearl in English, and or perhaps lavender purple. So we'll see what I find at that shop. And so I have this swatch with me here. I always do this when I'm looking for buttons. I get a little swatch of my fabric and I bring it with me. And then I'd like to go to Sacré-Coupon, which is my absolute favorite fabric shop in Paris, just to see what they have, because I know that recently they were advertising a linen sale. I don't think that the sale is going on anymore, but if it is, it might be dangerous. So I'm gonna go there, and then I have a bunch of things to go pick up at my favorite haberdashery, just regular sewing notions. That's where I go for, so the Mercerie de Charonne, it is in the 11th arrondissement on the Rue de Charonne, and it is my absolute favorite haberdashery to go to for basic stuff because the quality and price are just unbeatable. So that's what I'll be doing today, and I'll take you along with me. So I'm back home now after a long day outside. Walking around, my legs are killing me now, so I'm going to stay seated for the rest of the day, I think. But before I go, I wanted to show you what I got while I was out, especially at the button shop and at the fabric shop. So at the fabric shop, Sacré Coupon, they had a sale going on, and it took a lot of control not to buy everything because the prices are still not cheap, reasonable, and they have such good quality that it's, yeah, these fabrics are worth a lot more. So I only got one cut of fabric. So they sell coupons, which are cuts of 3 meters of fabric. And so it's 3 meters of 100% linen, and it's in this really beautiful blue check. I'm not sure what this, isn't this Prince of Wales check or something like that? Prince de Galles? I can't remember, but it just looked really pretty. And I thought maybe I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make with this. I thought maybe a skirt, a pair of pants, or even a shirt, sort of, anyway, I'm not sure yet, but it's just so soft and lovely. It's really, really good quality linen. And I almost bought another cut of white linen because it was just the softest linen I've ever touched in my life. But that one was not on sale. It was 45 euros per cut of 3 meters. This one I paid 20 euros for 3 meters, which is a good price, I think, in my experience. And so yeah, that was the extent of my fabric shopping, and I'm very pleased with what I found. And then the button shop was an absolute pleasure to visit, and I highly recommend you try and visit it too if you are here in Paris or live around or are visiting someday. It's really lovely, the little shop, and I found these beautiful buttons. They are these purple buttons, but they are mother of pearl as well. Let me show you against the fabric if I can. And they're just so pretty. This is going to be a blouse, so I needed small buttons like this, and oh, how gorgeous is that? So yeah, that was a lovely find, and the owner was very, very friendly, and he mentioned that he would be very happy to have foreign visitors come visit his shop as well. So don't hesitate. If you don't speak French, it doesn't matter. I'm sure he would make you feel welcome in any case. So I will leave that address below because I was just delighted with what I found within. So I think I'll end the vlog here. Thank you for following me over these 3 days. I hope that it was interesting for you, or that it inspired trying out a new recipe or cutting out that project that scares you, like a swimsuit. I haven't started working on it yet, so we'll see how it turns out. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I plan to devote it to ultimate relaxation, so I might share a few clips after this of that day, but I will probably not be sewing or doing any baking. Probably just relaxing and reading in the garden, and it looks like it's going to be a really beautiful day too, so I hope so. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't hesitate to leave a thumbs up and to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos from me. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. Take care, and I will see you again here soon. Bye-bye.